Around 1,000 officers are currently suspended or on restricted duties. Now, for context, that's about the size of the whole of a smaller force like Warwickshire Police, for example. 100 officers have been sacked for gross misconduct in the past year, and that is up 66% on the normal rate. And 275 are awaiting.
Okay then, so the reason we are talking about this today, and I've brought up this video which you're about to see, I don't know if you've even seen it. I don't think it was on TV, I think it was just on their YouTube channel, which this video got a grand total of 700 views in a year. In a year. For a news channel, 700 views in a year is absolutely appalling. Why was this video suppressed the way it was? Mainly because they are highlighting how many corrupt officers there is. But the reason I'm talking about this is because as of about 2 weeks ago of making this video, new legislations are coming into place which is going to allow police to be sacked. Forget what their unions are saying or fighting for, they will be sacked. So what I'm going to do is actually just let this video play out, this little bit of news article play out in full so you can understand what we're talking about properly, and then I'll pull up I'll try and find the new legislation, which is supposed to, by the time this video is out, it'll already be in force. So hopefully a lot of them are gone. But let's just get into this video.
Is to reform, the force has given us a better look at how many officers are being investigated. Let's take a closer look for you this evening. Around 1,000 officers are currently suspended or on restricted duties. Now, for context, that's about the size of the whole of a smaller force like Warwickshire Police, for example. 100 officers have been sacked for gross misconduct in the past year, and that is up 66% on the normal rate. And 275 are awaiting hearings. A significant slice of those involved alleged violence against women and girls. So that's a sense of the scale of the issue. Natalia Hawkera joins us now from New Scotland Yard on 5 News. Natalia, really good to talk to you tonight. How long do we think it might take to remove those officers who aren't fit to do the job?
Well, there are plans to hold around 60 misconduct hearings every month, which could see around 60 police officers sacked each month. But this could be a very lengthy process and take around 2 years to complete. But as more members of the public come forward, well, there are fears that this problem could get worse before it gets better.
I think the public should brace themselves because there will be many more horrendous cases that will come forward. I hope that there isn't another Cousins. I sincerely hope so, because that would just, to lose another life because of the incompetence of other people and them turning a blind eye. Certainly, I really, truly hope that there isn't.
And Natalia, some areas of the force are coming under real scrutiny, aren't they?
Yes, one elite team in particular, one that can carry firearms. Now, Wayne Cousins, the police officer who murdered Sarah Everard, and David Carrick, a serial rapist, were both on this team within the Met Police Force called the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protection Command. And this team has been found, unsurprisingly, to have unhealthy work cultures. Now, the team is made up of 1,000 officers, and since the crackdown, around 1/3 of them have been replaced.
We have changed all of the senior leadership team. We have put in additional supervisors. We are introducing systems now whereby officers are rotating, not just through that command, but through our other armed policing commands, because it's a culture change alongside the work that we're doing to identify those who are committing criminal offences or we believe are responsible for conduct matters as well.
Home Secretary Suella Braverman has announced new plans to make it easier to sack rogue officers. Now, just yesterday, a member of the Met Police was dismissed after a misconduct hearing found that he had breached the standards of professional behaviour. And unfortunately, I think we'll be hearing a lot more of these dismissals in the months to come.
Okay, so that was the end of that article, what they are talking about. Now, This is the government's website. New stories, new rules to sack officers guilty of gross misconduct. Right, police officers to no longer be able to escape the sack for gross misconduct as major government reform to boot standards in policing continues. Right, so what we're going to do is, it's quite a big article. If you want to go through it all, you can, but the only bit I am actually interested in is this bit here, so just let it play out loud.
Police officers found guilty of gross misconduct will no longer be able to escape dismissal under new rules that will help to root out rogue individuals and drive up standards. The new rules, being laid in Parliament today and due to come into effect at the end of the month, will strengthen the ability of police chiefs to clean out their forces of officers unfit to serve by setting clear expectations about what should happen to those guilty of the most serious behaviour. Whilst many officers who are found guilty of gross misconduct do get sacked, with over 500 officers dismissed, or would have been dismissed if they hadn't already left the service, last year, there currently is no guarantee that gross misconduct will lead to dismissal.
So there you go. I'm not going to go into it all because it's absolutely nonsense to start lying about numbers and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not going to go into it all. But this date is actually 5 days away from the day of recording this video, but by the time you see it, this video is probably going to come out on the 9th, I think, on the 9th. So yeah. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it all, but it's down to the police chiefs to clean out their forces. Now, do you believe the police chief is going to clean out the forces or root out rogue individuals, as it says? No, do I? I do not. Now, unless if people start putting more complaints in about the police, and the police actually, well, the IOPC actually investigate it properly and decide that these officers are actually doing wrong, nothing's really going to happen. The police which are being investigated at the minute, if they get done for if they get found of gross misconduct, they probably will lose their job under the new regulations, well, the new rules. But the likelihood of those actually getting found of gross misconduct is very small, considering only 1% of all complaints made to the IOPC lead in misconduct hearings, and then it's like 1% of them misconduct hearings lead to some sort of disciplinary action. So if you're talking 1% of the 1%, nothing's going to happen, is it? There's going to be no change. The chief constables are not going to have to dismiss that many people because it's only 1% of the 1% which lead to any sort of misconduct hearing, and most of the time it's not gross misconduct. But all that being said, everything said in this video is just my opinion. I want to thank my members for being a member. If you want to become a member, click the join button down below. As always, let me know what you thought of this interaction in the comments down below. Like the video, as it does help in YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.